the book of Proverbs, 26, verses 4 through 5. And it works like this. Proverbs 26, 4 through 5. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you be like him yourself. And then it says, answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. So this looks like a contradiction. It's actually it's a pretty common Hebrew device of parallelism, and it's not a contradiction, though it seems like it is. It's a twofold methodology, okay? So the first is, don't answer a fool according to his folly, or you'll be like him. So in the area of apologetics, defending the faith, fighting for truth, don't answer a fool according to his folly, or you're going to be like him. So what's his folly? Maybe it's his behavior. Don't behave like him. Don't act like him. Don't take his foundations. Don't take his starting points. Don't assume his presuppositions as a starting point. Don't pretend neutrality. Don't start where he's starting, right? Don't stand there, or you're going to be just like him. How does that look? Well, quick thing. When you have the evidentialist, the classical apologists, who want to start from somewhere other than the Word of God and divine revelation as the starting point of all truth, and they say they want to just start with human reason. Well, if you start with human reason apart from Jesus Christ as the foundation, if you want to argue from neutrality, then you're like the fool. You're like the atheist who tries to defend his position on the basis of human reason, but he doesn't have a worldview that can make sense of reason in the first place. What is reason? Why is that important? Who says I have to follow that? Why are laws of logic something that are necessary and invariant? Are they universal? So when you have the apologist that says, let's pretend neutrality, let's go with the atheist, and let's try to just appeal to mere human reason to try to work this stuff out, I would say the Christian apologist at that point becomes like the fool. I don't mean that in the jabbing sense or the vindictive sense. I mean that in a classical sense. You're ignorant of the very problem itself. If you abandon Christ and you try to reach truth through just pure reason, apart from the revelation of God, then the same questions can be asked of you. Who says I have to appeal to reason? Why does truth matter at all? For the atheist, he believes he's a bag of chemical processes fizzing throughout the universe. There's no purpose, no objective truth. There's no objective morality. It's just stuff banging across the cosmos. Well, when we assume their foundations as Christians neutral, then we become like him. We don't have any ultimate justification for reason either, or why it's important to have integrity and discussion. You see, when we abandon Christ to get at truth, we lose the ability to actually uphold truth, because we find ourselves fraught with the same problems as the unbeliever because they've abandoned God. So don't answer the fool according to his folly, or you'll be like him yourself. And then the twofold apologetic, the other one says, answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. And that is to say, we say in apologetics, step into the unbeliever's position and do some looking around, right? Actually get into his position and show him or her the results of reasoning and believing in the way that they are. So answer the fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. We say do an internal critique of his system. Show the unbeliever what their worldview, what their perspective, what their reasoning would ultimately lead to, right? So if you are dealing with, say, the atheist, we're going to deal with Mormons here in a second. If you're dealing with the atheist, atheists are popular and well known for criticizing and ridiculing the Christian faith. You guys are just the blind faith religionists. You guys, we're the science-based. We believe in reason and science and facts and truth. And you guys are the ones that just take blind leaps of faith. And it's like, oh man, how times have changed. Because it's the Christian church that gave you all of that, and you are just a barnacle on the ship of Christianity and history. But all that to say, when you begin to engage, you really want to step into the unbeliever's boat. I put it in this way. It's as though the Christian is sailing through the ocean in a massive storm, and we are an impenetrable ship. This thing is solid. It cannot be penetrated. It is floating fine. It's cutting through the waves. We are safe. We got room and board. We got food and chefs. We are good to go. This thing is not even moving in the ocean. And the unbeliever comes running up in his little skiff. He's coming up. He's taking in water. This ship's getting knocked around by the waves. This thing is rickety. It's rotting. It's got holes in it. And that unbeliever is in that little skiff looking up at our impenetrable ship. And he starts calling out to us, "Hey, your ship is stupid. Your ship is dumb. You're an idiot for being in that ship." All the while, the unbeliever's in this little skiff down there, taking in water, about to sink. Now, what's sad is that many Christian apologists go, "Oh dear, I wouldn't want him thinking that about me." So what we end up doing is we crawl down into his ship to float around with him in the ocean. As if that was the appropriate approach, right? He's right. My ship, it does seem maybe like it's not doing so well. Maybe I'll try out the skiff like you. No, what we need to do is reason from a position of strength and truth on the word of God, recognizing this is impenetrable. It is the truth of God. But what we can do, this text teaches, is we can actually step down into that little ship, that little skiff, and we can take his head and we can push his face down and we can say, "Look, you're taking in water. Look, you're not going to make it. If you keep riding around in this thing, you're going to die. You need to come and join me over here where there's truth and safety and peace." So that is to say, step into the unbeliever's position and do an internal critique of his system. Show him the natural results and consequences of reasoning and thinking in the way that he does. So, twofold apologetic methodology. Christ, set apart as Lord, always ready to give a reasoned defense, gentleness and reverence,